Hey guys, Analog Man here for another deck profile, and as you can see from the title, we are actually kind of jumping the shark and we are diving into the Japanese style meta essentially. For those that are not aware of what's going on, the last month and a half basically, Bandai has been revealing basically all of the new cards for set 10, or as most people in the community call it, BT10, which is called Cross Encounters, and it has a extra focus on Digi-Crossing and specifically Season 6, which is Cross Wars, and they just happened to finally, after, let's see, debuting his set 7, DarkKnightmon and his initial deck support, now he has finally gotten legitimate, like, a full deck of a support essentially, and new Digimon and new forms essentially to help boost the deck. For any that don't know, he's gotten a new level 4, he's gotten a new level 5, and recently, as of 2 days ago, as of this recording, it's been 2 days since the reveal of DarkKnightmon X. And with that card, this deck actually busts past a lot of barriers that it had before, which was mainly getting rid of Tamers, having enough removal, and also being able to go for game, which it did kind of have an issue before because there was just not enough Nightmons to search out essentially. But now that we have with BT8 we got Cavalier mode, and now with the new set 10 we have both Big Axe mode and a new Digi-Crossing Dark Knightmon that can de-digivolve stuff. So let's actually get into the deck profile so you can see what I mean. This deck has actually, I've been working kind of on it for the last like 2 weeks, trying to perfect it. I've only been able to test it against mostly BT7 decks and maybe like one or two BT9 decks. But so far, the results have been really promising. This deck has enough power to essentially get past almost all of the tier 1 decks because they all rely on Digimon to kind of evolve outside here in the battle area. And with the de-digivolving and the constant removal and survival of the Digimon, no matter what, even if they were to digivolve you back, it's very hard for them to get rid of your board essentially, unless they do a full-on, like if they actually have to waste all the memory. But even then, you still gain pluses off of it, so it's really nice. But yeah, let's get into deck profile. So first, for the eggs, of course, we are running 4 Pagus. I got my 4 alternate Pagus finally, so now for this deck, I'm going to basically go max rarity on it, which is why I have these, and using, the sleeves from the tournaments that I've been in. So yeah, this guy's really solid in this deck because most of the time your DarkKnightmon, if he dies, or he will die most of the time, you will get multiple searches through this and its own searching and through Deadly Axe. So it's pretty nice. So far, we do not have a tamer yet for this. There have been hints that it is a tamer by the name of Nene, who was one of the main characters from Cross Wars, but we still have yet to see her. So hopefully she is released in BT10. So in conjunction with that, hopefully we can get even more search power. But anyway, that's all the eggs. We run 4 to consistently see it. We don't want to run 5 because we potentially could not see Pagus, so we'll keep it at that. Let's start with the rookies. We run about 14 rookies at the moment because originally I was running 16 to kind of match the amount of level 4s this deck has, which is about 16 as well. So it was kind of the idea to just be like, oh, there's a evolution for each one. But I encountered some issues where I would just brick into rookies or just brick into level 4s or just not even draw any of that and just draw everything else that I had in the deck. So kind of had to reduce it down to 14, but let's actually get into it. First off, we're running 4 Dorus. This is the one from BT7. This is the one I have access to at the moment. But once I can get copies of the new Dorumon, the security Digimon one that lets you basically high roll the top of your deck and look at the top 3, I will be changing that. But for my current build at the moment, I have the old Dorus from BT7 because a lot of the time you will be tucking a source underneath this, which will most likely be Skull Knightmon if you evolve it properly. So you will always get that extra memory to kind of just do a few more plays, basically. So it's really nice. Also, the fact is that he is a pretty cheap rookie to just play. It does kind of suck when his effect goes off because it is a mandatory effect because it just reveals the top 3. So potentially you can whiff with it, which is why I highly recommend just keeping this in your hand and just not even trying to hard play it. So that's why I kind of want to do the security version in the future. But for now, we have these. Then we have of course, the 4 Monitamons from BT7 as well. This guy's really good. He is one of the best searchers in the deck next to Deadly Axemon. He usually grabs so on play, for anybody that hasn't played this card at all, on play you can reveal the top 3 cards of your deck, and you can add 1 card with Knightmon in its name or 1 Deadly Axemon to your hand, and then you place the remaining on the bottom. The cool thing is that this specifically states Knightmon, so this actually can also search Lord Knightmon and the yellow Knightmon as well. So really cool if you want to build a black-yellow kind of fusion build, but for this deck, we are mainly focusing on just a pure Dark Knight build, so having 4 of these is really crucial because sometimes you basically can draw like all your Knightmons, but you don't have anything else. You don't have your Deadly Axemon or any of the big axes that, or the other Knightmons that have the clause of being a Deadly Axe. So you hard play this, and then you basically get to search it out. I've actually been able to just kind of pass for turn and go to 1 and have this out and just search, and it's really nice. I'm really hoping that Bandai gives us another one of these that can search more, but for now, these are the ones we're running. Then we're running 4 Chikurimons because this deck does like de-digivolving, and I do like people hitting into Chikurimon in security. So I always like to run 4 in black decks, so that way they get de-digivolved, and I get to kind of maybe survive one more turn. So really nice. And then our last 2 rookies will be the old BT5 Monitamon. I'm kind of iffy about this card at the moment because its effect is to just look at the top card, and then on deletion, he gets to basically just he's basically like a Commandramon where on death he can just search out a Monitamon. But as of right now, we do not have enough Monitamons. If we get one more, potentially, you can replace almost all the Chikuris and the Dorus with it, and you can just run a full rookie complement of Monitamons that search and essentially let you look at your top card, and they can also replay themselves consistently. So that's also really nice. But hopefully, if that happens, that would be nice. But for now, we're running the 14 rookies. And yeah, let's actually get into the level 4s now. So for level 4s, we have a lot. As I said before, we're running 16 of them. So we gotta, but the thing is that it's very crucial for that because a lot of them do give really good effects, and the new ones do like Big Axe mode. He lets you basically pop a card and search. So essentially, along with Monitamon, you have about 12 searchers so far in the deck. So really busted. Let's start off with the 4 Skull Knightmons, of course, from BT7. And of course, I managed to pre-release all of these to max rarity it. This guy gives a security +2, plus the fact that if you push up a rookie from raising and your opponent leaves you at 2, you can digivolve this, and then you can swing and evolve into a Dark Knightmon in hand, and you get the security plus and the Deadly Axe boosting it to 9,000. And then if it dies, you get to just replay them both, and you get even more searches, so really busted. You gotta max out on this card. No substitutions. You have to keep 4, especially in a peer build. Then we're running the 4 Deadly Axemons. This guy, honestly, in testing, this guy is the MVP of the deck because he searches the top 5 cards and he adds up to 2 Dark Knightmons, which is why he's just so crucial. Like, if you see this in hand, you're basically set because you're going to be able to just cycle through your deck and search for your Knightmons. Plus, it's one of the materials needed for almost all of the digi-crossings and attacks and fusions and anything. So having him already in hand is really busted. So max him out as well. Really sucks that he's a common because if he was an uncommon and a pre-release, I would have probably maxed this out as well. Then we're running 4 big axe modes. I still have only proxies at the moment because, of course, the set isn't out as of recording this video. They will not be coming out until the end of May. So once that happens, I will be importing the new cards and getting the legit cards for my deck here. And yeah. But big axe mode. Okay, so for anybody who doesn't know what it does, so first off, it has the new Digicross mechanic, which is really cool. Basically, when you hard play this, you can equip both a Skull Knightmon and a Deadly Axe, and it gets -1 for each source. So it becomes a 2 cost, and on play, it basically lets you look at the top 3 cards of your deck to add a Knightmon, a Deadly Axemon, or a Nene Amano to your hand, and then it gets to pop anything 4 cost or less. And along with that, and that's basically what it does. It's just a really good it's a good Digimon to essentially pass the turn and potentially pop any rookies, specifically the rookies that most people will be running in BT10 that basically stop on play reduction. This card is crucial for that because you can fuse and just pay 4 and pass it to their turn while popping their guy. So it's really crucial to have a maximum of this guy. Plus the fact that he searches as well. He's basically the other level 4 searcher alongside Deadly Axemon, so you have to max him out. But yeah, then let's move on to the last of the level 4s. We're running 3 Cavalier modes. So we're actually running 15, my bad. I kept thinking that I have a 4th one, but we're running 3 of this because as of now, to fit in DarkKnightmon X, we needed to remove a few cards. So having this at 3 isn't actually too bad. I actually honestly might bump it down to 2 because it's not as crucial as I thought it would be. You honestly want to see these more than this because this one, I mean, it counts as a Nightmon and a Deadly Axemon, but at the same time, it's not really great to play because it doesn't really search or do much compared to like everybody else. So I honestly would put this down to 2, but for now I have it at 3 because I do kind of still want to see it. But maybe once we get more support like Tamers and stuff, I might reduce this down to 2, maybe get rid of some other stuff to kind of fit them in. But yeah, that's all the level 4s we're running, and of course they are all just ridiculously busted with the new Digicross mechanic. Then let's move on to level 5s. We only run 8 level 5s, and they are all DarkKnightmons. And we do that specifically so that we can consistently see them and search them, because in this deck, you basically will search almost everything. This deck, honestly, at the moment, feels very similar to Alphamon with how much searching there is and how much like power it has at the moment. But yeah, let's get into the level 5s. We're running, of course, the 4 DarkKnightmon alternate arts from freaking BT7. Really awesome looking card. Its normal art isn't really bad as either, but I really like the alternate art more because it shows how like powerful he is. And now that with the new support, his deck becomes even more busted. And of course, for anybody that hasn't actually played against this deck or looked at this card yet, on play, you can actually just like pass a turn. Like let's say your opponent gave you like maybe 4, you can just hard play this, and then any of the Skull Nightmon materials in the grave, you can just equip it onto him, and he'll have like security +2 or +2000, so really nice. And then on deletion, he can just split back into his parts basically. So no matter what, you will have a consistent board that cannot be removed. It's essentially like Commandramon, but even stronger, honestly, because I feel like this deck has way more power or way more search power at the moment compared to Commandramon. And then we're running the 4 new DarkKnightmons from BT10, of course. These are also proxied still for now until I get the real cards. This guy's really busted, honestly. I've honestly won matches because of his abilities. So first off, he is an 8 cost. And when you hard play him, you can equip a Deadly Axe and a Skull Nightmon to him and reduce his cost essentially for 2 for each material. So essentially, he will always become a 4 cost if you have the materials. And not only that, is that you're playing him for 4, which is it's a very low number for this for any deck. And then the fact that it also de-digivolves your opponent and then pops a 5 cost or less. So that means that if you can basically reduce their, like, let's say they have a little 5 out, you can just de-digivolve it, pop their guy, and then just have set up for next turn. And not only that, that's not the end of his effects either. That's just the first few he has on play. After that, if you were to delete him or if your opponent tries to kill him, you can return one of the level 4 or lower black Digimon underneath him to your hand to replay something underneath him. So essentially, the best combo or the best play to do with him is to basically push back the or pull back the Skull Nightmon to your hand, and then you replay the Deadly Axemon and essentially search 2 more Nightmons. Because the Deadly Axe ability, I did not mention this earlier, the Deadly Axe ability is not once per turn, so you can play multiples of these and keep searching nonstop essentially. So with how the deck works, if you can just consistently pull out a DarkKnightmon, you can consistently keep searching your deck and keep going, which is really busted because that means this deck never runs out of steam and it just continuously keeps going. And now with DarkKnightmon X, there's a way to recover stuff from the trash too. So really busted. That's all the level 5s we're running. We're only running 8, of course, because we want consistency in the deck and not to overindulge. Then we, of course, go into the DarkKnightmon X. for our level 6. We do not run any other level 6. Right now, I have these as blanks. I will have proper proxies soon, but for now, I have them as blanks because they're the only blank cards in the deck. But for anybody that does not know what DarkKnightmon X does at the moment, his abilities, he has 4 different abilities. But, well, no, actually, no, 5 different abilities if you include his Digivolution reduction. So so first off, he can evolve on top of any DarkKnightmon for a cost of 4. His normal cost is 5. But because you're evolving on a DarkKnightmon, he reduces himself to a 4 cost when evolving. On evolution, he will basically grab a black or purple Digimon from your trash. So basically anything from your trash, except for DarkKnightmon X. So basically you can grab any DarkKnightmon, Skullknightmon, Deadly Axe, anything in the deck, except for the Moninamons and the rookies, of course. But the good thing is that you can, or actually no, you can grab those as well because it specifies black or purple. So basically everything in this deck is free reign. So essentially, if you are missing a piece, you can just evolve and go, oh, hey, I grabbed my rookie back, I need back this, and then next turn you just continue your plays. Then after that, after it does that, it also deletes a tamer just for free. Just on Digivolution, it just pops a tamer for free, just like Black War Greymon, which is really busted. And then after that, he unsuspends himself, of course, because he also needed to unsuspend like Black War Greymon. And then after that, even worse is that on deletion, if you were to kill him, he will just replay any of these DarkKnightmons, any DarkKnightmon from your graveyard for free, no cost. And if you replay this, you're basically guaranteed a Digivolve, and you get to basically equip parts onto them and pop something 5 cost or less. So you're essentially, if they kill this, they basically lose 2 things on their board in the process. So they literally cannot get past your board. And not only that is that DarkKnightmon X, he's actually pretty big. He's a 12,000 guy, and with the boost, I also forgot to mention is that Deadly Axemon gives a plus 2,000 boost to all your Nightmons or Bagramons, which hopefully we'll get in the future. So basically, every time when you swing with materials underneath him, he will be a 14,000 guy swinging for 2 checks every time, consistently. So really busted card, and honestly, I feel like with the amount of searching I'm seeing with this deck so far, I'm honestly predicting that this and Alphamon will be the top decks in BT10 once they come out because Crossheart and Blue Flare are really amazing. They honestly really are. But the problem is that they both rely on their tamers really crucially, and they require those tamers at every step. So this deck hard counters that alongside with other cards in like Alphamon, even though they don't run Zwart Defeat, if the meta becomes too tamer heavy again, like with the hybrids, potentially Alphamon can even go into Zwart Defeat. So both decks have a way to essentially counter Crossheart and Blue Flare. So I'm predicting that it's going to be these 2 decks at the top fighting for the top spot because they both have insane consistency at the moment. Even with the current support, we don't even have all the support yet. We're literally 3 to 4 weeks away from all the reveals, and each day we're getting more and more stuff. So potentially this deck can be as strong or even better, honestly, than Crossheart and Blue Flare. Um, but anyway, then that's all the level 6s we're running. We do not run any level 7s at the moment. I'm still testing Dexmons and Zwart Defeats, but I feel like Zwart Defeats might probably be the best way to go, especially with the meta once it shifts in set 10. But anyway, let's get into the options. We're running 3 Pride Memory Boosts. This is just to essentially kind of like set up your board. If, let's say, you don't have anything, but you just have a rookie, this can potentially kind of trash the top 3 cards and kind of set up something for you next turn, hopefully. Most likely, if you have like a Cavalier mode, you could maybe do this and then go maybe get like a Deadly Axe and evolve on top of it maybe to kind of set up. But most preferably, it'd be like a Skullknightmon or something else, or maybe a Big Axe mode. So it'd be pretty nice. But yeah, we're running this at 3. Then we're running 2 analog use, and then we're maxing out on Izzy, possibly replacing Izzy with the new tamer Nene once she's revealed. Hopefully she's a memory setter because that'd be really nice because Black still needs a memory setter, and the best one is still Izzy at the moment because not only does he let you look at the top 3 cards, but he gains you back a memory if they're all black. So if your whole deck like this is black, except for analog, you can basically always regain 1 memory and pass them the 1, maybe 2. So I honestly encourage this for anybody that plays black. Always max out on your Izzies because you never want to be memory choked. And if they hit into this into security on their first turn, that's even better because then they basically can't memory choke you at all in any possible way. And then the analog boys help kind of thin out the deck a little bit, and then potentially set up the old BT7 Knightmon to just hard play and equip because they kill it, and then you get to set up a new one. So essentially, they're losing no matter what because you will always maintain a consistent board. So this deck is, it has the power to be tier 1, but hopefully with more support it will become even better. I honestly predict that it will be tier 1. Honestly, it's so consistent so far. It's really powerful. It has ways to answer the meta. I've been able to beat Magnum on X already in a full match, and it's just insane how powerful it is. But yeah, for anybody that's watching this, this is my template version. It's a very rough draft at the moment. It will get better, and I will be doing updated profiles for this deck once we get more support and I get the actual cards at the end of May. But I highly recommend you guys try this deck. It's really fun. It's really fast and powerful. But anyway, let me know what you thought of the video. In the comments, shoot me a like or whatever. Just, you know, any advice if you have or whatever. But anyway, thanks for watching. I just wanted to put this out because I really want people to have a good, like, maybe template for the deck in the future. That way you can use it and just kind of like, be successful with the deck at least, because I want this deck to succeed because he's one of my favorite Digimons, along with like Machine Dramon and like Beelstars. So I want those decks to do good. So I'm just putting out these profiles so that way people have a better chance at least competing. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.